Jonas Giaver joins us now, a Scandinavian football expert. We're going to come on to Norway very shortly because, Martin Odegaard injured last night playing for his country. But, Jonas, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, guys. How are you?
Yeah,
Not
good,
too bad, thank you. Let's kick off with the Finns. What kind of opposition do you expect them to give England tonight?
Finland are quite interesting in that they are, even to us Scandinavians and up us here in North, they're quite unknown. I mean, they are a team that we know very little about. They usually have a couple of players roaming around the different sorts of leagues here, but they seem to be a country now that's more so aligned with people from their diaspora that usually has one parent or perhaps both parents from other countries than Finland. You see, for example, Thomas Galvez in their defense is born in London. Robert Ivanov is the result of a Finnish mother and a Russian father. So they are a team that sort of represents the new Finland, I suppose. But we do know very little about them, despite the fact that they still have the likes of Glenn Kamara and Teemu Pukki and the likes that you've previously seen.
They have got, of course, a standout keeper, although he made a bit of a rick against Greece recently. But Hradecky is he's had a wonderful season, hasn't he, at Leverkusen? So they have a good goalkeeper.
Absolutely, and he's also a result of all of this. I mean, he's born in Bratislava and has decided to play for Finland. So he's perhaps their standout player alongside Hradecky last season and perhaps in seasons previous were the cream of the crop in European football. So they have a potential match winner in goal and a potential match winner up front if Pukki is deemed fit to start.
Yeah, what's the style of play? I mean, if they just sit deep, we've seen during the Euros when England came up against teams that just sat deep, they'd struggle a little bit to break them down. Is that what we expect? 10 men behind the ball tonight?
They have a bit of a tinkerman in their manager. I mean, Marco is obviously one of their. I would say that one of their big strengths, to be perfectly honest, because he's one of those managers that will keep analyzing every single thing. Marco Canerva. I mean, he will even find out where the sprinklers are ahead of the match in order to know which side of the pitch are the most watered, for example.
The sprinkler man, not the tinker man. The sprinkler man.
Oh, there you go.
That's it. Yeah.
That's even better. But he's a huge tactics nerd. He loves to switch up his tactics a bit. I mean, I believe they played in a 4-2-3-1. The last match they played against Greece when they obviously lost 3-0. But he's a big Arsenal fan. So I mean, he's also going to be quite nervous about what's going on with Martin Odegaard as well. But no, we're not quite sure what sort of formation it'll be because it could be everything from a 3-5-2 to a 4-3-2-1. I mean, he loves to switch up a bit, and I think that's also why he's kind of loved by the Finns a little bit in that he took them obviously to the under-21 European Championship, also took obviously Finland to Euro 2020. And he's a bit of a stoic character for Finnish football, which has been quite underwhelming the past couple of decades.
So let's turn to Norway last night. And I know a lot of Arsenal fans, our producer and assistant producer, are down in the dumps today because they think it's another midfield injury. It didn't look good, did it? He seemed to twist his ankle, Martin Odegaard, playing for Norway last night. I suppose at the moment, until it settles down a bit, you don't know whether it's, he's tweaked the ligaments, he's done more damage, or it's just a sprain.
We don't know 100%. I tried to reach out to the Odegaard camp, but it seems like they're having a silencio stampa today because I think they're eagerly waiting it as much as we are. But it did not look well. I mean, our manager Ståle Solbakken here in Norway also said after the match that it did not look well in the dressing room after the match. It was a horrible landing. He landed, on his foot, and you could see his whole foot kind of twisting in the wrong direction. And everyone sort of knew straight away that he had to come off. He was also pictured leaving Norway today on crutches, obviously entering into a flight on crutches. So it's not like one of those where it swiftly hurts and then it goes over. I'm assuming it's probably swollen up and it needs more testing. But for those who hope that he plays the North London Derby, just looking at it and looking at the injury and looking at everything that occurred, I think that they should be quite skeptical. But yeah, it's one of those injuries that just looked really, really nasty as it occurred, and it could be anything from something that hurts really badly today and is okay, towards the weekend, or something that keeps him out for a long time. It all comes down to the different scans that I believe he will be taking in London today.
Yeah. And they kind of have to let it settle down a bit first, don't they, before they can do that.
What's the atmosphere with the Norwegian fans, Jonas? They've got this great team. They've got one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world. Do they feel like they should be a Wales type player, a Wales type team who, when they had Bale, pushing for major tournaments? Is there an anger towards them?
Yes, it is a huge anger too. We don't qualify for tournaments. It's one of those things that we say we are at our best when it no longer matters. I mean, when we are out of qualification, we usually put up our best results. When we need a result, for example, we played Scotland, and in the summer of 2023, and we were horrible. I mean, we're absolutely horrible, and Scotland kind of showed us the way of how to be cynical in a good way in terms of qualification. And that's a nation, Scotland, with all due respect to them, that we should be absolutely smashing in terms of the players that we have, especially with the likes of Odegaard, with the likes of Haaland up front. But they have the international pedigree. They have the pedigree of playing in different tournaments, which we haven't done since Euro 2000. So despite the fact that we have some of the best players in the world, admittedly, we don't have the culture of qualifying for different tournaments. So we're lacking a winning culture in this country, which is of huge frustration to the Norwegian public, and which also means that our players, and especially our manager, is under constant scrutiny. And it's been a huge topic also this time during the Nations League. We drew 0-0 away at Kazakhstan, for example. And when we see Slovenia winning against Kazakhstan, a couple of days later, we're like, are we worse than Slovenia now all of a sudden? It's one of those things that frustrates everyone, because we live in a world where we're supposed to be one of the best nations in Europe, but we have nothing to show for it. So we're really in a spell now where we feel like we might be losing a golden generation, or we're throwing it away. Because we're a nation of 5 to 6 million people, we probably will never see the likes of Haaland and Odegaard again. And if we're not able to benefit from that now, we risk, losing more patience, and obviously falling into more European football wilderness.
Jonas, good to talk to you. Appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Likewise, thank you.
There's Jonas Giaver there, talking a bit of Finland and indeed Norway. Yeah, Euro, so 24 years since they've been to a tournament.
Yeah,
which you consider. I mean, it's great news for the clubs involved. I mean, not at the moment.
What Nations League are they in, Paul? Are they in a tough one? I don't know. I mean, that sort of
looking at some of the countries,
these days.
Are they in the sort of League 2 section? I mean, England. This is the thing. England, by going down, they're not getting the competitive games. By being relegated, they're not getting the competitive games they were getting before. We've seen who Scotland are finding themselves up against. Portugal and Croatia. Tough games that they've got because they're in the top league. So
they're in League B, apparently, Slovenia and Kazakhstan.
Radetzky, who is the goalkeeper, Leverkusen and goalkeeper for Finland tonight. That's right, he is from Slovakia. And he was revealing that he went back home to Slovakia recently, went for a run in the woods and ran into a bear.
Oh, God.
He said, I trusted my feet and thank God everything ended happily. But I'm sure I'd read somewhere.
Are you trying to pitch the bear for the Night of 1,000 Stars?
Well, the bear could come. Yeah, the bear would be fantastic. Just a live bear on stage.
You'd need a bear.
You'd need an. I remember the days of TV Burt when Harry Hill would insist on all sorts of animals. You have these animal wranglers on. It's a skill. I mean, it's a lot of work. That you don't want anybody looking after a bear. No, so that's quite risky.
I don't think you'd be allowed a bear.
There was when we did fantasy football. I played I played a man in a karate suit and a blonde wig at one point. Because Frank and Dave found this old clip of a Russian chat show. It was just like the Graham Norton show. But this bloke, for some reason, in a karate outfit with very blonde hair, brought on a bear. And one of the other guests, who was like, I don't know, a sort of a Russian actress, said something to the bear, and the bear took against her and had a go at her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, she was all right, but the karate man's pulling the bear off of... so I went on.
Your job.
And I can't remember who the guest was at the time.
Who was the bear?
A gentleman called Spencer Millman.
Oh, right.
Went on to an incredibly
Big
successful
producer now.
career
Yeah,
as a
of
producer.
course.
He was the man in the bear outfit. Yeah, that's how I made my living in the late 90s.
In the late 70s.
In the late 90s.
Different show in the late 70s.
It was. Me and Robin Asquith.
Would have been a real bear in the late 70s.
Confessions of an Animal Wrangler, my first film. Anyway, so look out for Hradecki. He's a very good goalkeeper.
Yeah, nice.
This evening. It's live on talkSPORT from 7 o'clock.
A lot of people asking for Delia Smith as the warm-up woman.
She'd come on, yeah.
Just coming on.
She felt like the atmosphere.
Yeah,
Night of 1,000
if it was
stars.
dropping, you know.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.